I This is going to be a first time. Thank you, Alan and Janice, for this. You're going to hear for the first time. I've usually, since I've known him for the 20 years, I've always liked to do behind the scenes. So you don't know how much stress you caused for me this week. So I've got 10 minutes at it, and I just want to give you a little glimpse on uh, what it's been like for us, the ride here being in Redlands. Just a little bit. I actually had so I put it this Sunday. I was having a little laugh to myself. I said, "This is not my eulogy; it's my story." Um, so there's a little 10-minute bit there. I actually had my connection to uh, Redlands is when Dad used to bring us down Victoria Point. They actually had the no jetty there at the time, so I was 9 years old, and then coming here in one of my daughters. There is a couple of others that you haven't met there at the moment. So, um, but one of them was when she was born 25 years ago. We formally, officially came out here to live in the Redlands. So, um, I just wanted to talk from what I've actually prepared and just a couple of things there. My wife, Nancy, who's really the champion and inspiration on this idea when we're talking about business. Um, yeah, so we called to the Lord at 1982, 83 to 90. I was unaware of a poverty mindset that was really ruling the way we were doing things, working as a labourer and factory hand. This, but the seed was planted there for something more. So 1991, 91, I made the decision to enter into business. And the bit there for me that I still had no idea what being in business was. Um, Later discovered the benefits of uh, being in business and doing ministry for myself and my family, and especially the rich benefit of supporting the kingdom. So, just our family tree and just honouring our family timelines. Nancy is a second generation business after her father. Nancy's father who I thought was a visionary and saw the future. And he saw the benefit of being self-employed and having his own business. In the 1970s, he had mining tin. And this guy, I mean, her father um, actually had heavy machinery and everything out in their country there and mining for tin when he was alive at the time. So she had that already as her template for business, and I'm the first generation, and realised the limiting mindset that I had there, and it helped me to not only think about what I was doing to my family, it also that's my little heart space there for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people as well. So um, I've got a so hence I'll jump to 2005. We felt the call, Nancy and I, to go to Cherbourg in 2005. I got a little slide just to give you a little. It's only that they're done for a minute, and it actually just we actually took the idea of going into Cherbourg, and whether we were going to be accepted or not, that time was going to be telling us on how things were going to happen for us. So in 2005, we looked and talked to this, and Selma summed it up good for me to be able to share today. She said we were looking for and searching for families who would stop looking for a handout and start looking for the handbook. So and it was really tough for them, and we've not made it easy for them. Oh, you can't see it, but yeah, see that we got them from the communities. We bring them. That's at Wellington Point there. We bring them in to Redlands so that we do our teaching and training there with them. Fun run. Benaya over there on the left there, running in, and this young fella on our right here, he's the first one that run the first fun run, and you should have seen him. He racing one fella who's a proper. He's been at it for 20 years or more, and he thought he had it. And this young fella just comes flying past, and he wasn't happy that day for the first one, so took his little trophy there. But uh, the foundation has been one way we've been able to walk and talk with the Kings, saying with Peter, we do need a definite support and help uh, talking to the kings of our city, so that we can really start to amp up what we're doing with our work in these communities, and what they're doing here in Redlands. So um, one of the things I found with that too is that uh, the three things that Nancy and I put together was a plan to actually have a message to show, and then we wanted to bring salvation so that they could see and decide, and then to, I think, um, the answer, one of the main answers we thought at that time 20 years ago was to get our families that we were reaching one family at a time with, is to start doing their own businesses in their communities. And since we've been there, one of the young fellas who watched us for a while from afar for a couple of years, eventually started his barber shop in Mergen, right next door to Sherbrooke. And it's the first ever that was set up, and it was a bit of a shock. Another young fella, their family started landscaping business and doing stuff within our community. So um, we just found that as we were starting to see that influence affect the Sherbrooke community, we've actually found that some of the people that we put there were young people too, that were eventually took them out of the cycle of what was happening in their local community, and then gave them more career choices. One of them we pushed off to Northern Territory, and he got into the reserves, and eventually did a couple of years there with the reserves, and then eventually started a young family, and now they bought their own home in the Northern Territory, and they're going really well as a young couple. I was looking at the idea of Selwyn Cobbo. He was one of the guys, young fellas there at that time. He was in the 14-year-old at that time there, but now you see the rest is slowly opening there for him. We're hoping he'll make his way through that idea at the professional level for sports. So we found there that having our time uh, going for business, we found that there was a couple of things, and I think this is where we met Alan and Janice at that time. We've actually had three shutdowns in 2005 and 2008, and one we just had here recently. Our business um, uh, crash land really did, to the point. I think one of the ones that we had, I was not known to everyone, but um, and we don't talk about it too often, but what in 2005 we were actually when the one of the daughters, I think she was 9 year old. How old's Elkie now? 27, but she was 9 years old. I was just telling a couple last night, we actually found that when we crash landed in 2005 after starting business, we actually found that the business hit total. And then when we uh, was away, I think the time came, they were asking and evicting us at a Vicky Point at one time. The police came to um, take us out of the house, and they were locking the door at 12 o'clock. And as they were moving all our furniture out of the yard, the people going past thought it was a garage sale on a Thursday. And I thought it was going to be a couple of nights. My father actually said, he said, you should be, you should you should have come and stopped with us. And I said to him at that point, if we're talking about helping people to be free in themselves, how are we going to you know, be able to do it if we're just going to keep jumping to the first safe net that's there? So we actually met Alan Janice at that time. Alan especially came in, and there was three responses from the real estate. That real estate's closed here in Redlands now, but the real estate agent that was there, her response was, "You shouldn't be here. It would have been better if you went back to Logan City for social housing." And my response said to her was, We came here for a better way. We came to provide for my family and more choices for the future generation. We deserve to be here to pursue the path of the Bowie family. So, and the funny part about it for us, we look back and we think, we talked to Alan. Alan just brought us into his conference room, said, how can we help? And got us a 3-bedroom house. We call it my last daughter, Edie. We call it her cubby house because she thought it was the best, but we were sleeping basically on top of each other. And then later, in a couple of years, he helped sold us our first home, and that knowledge, we actually were able to get another one for one of the daughters that are already started out in that idea. So, yeah, we really have a story that's starting to unfold. Like we said, we changed the course of what we were going to do, because instead of just letting someone come along and take our one business, as you heard this morning, we got 5 of them in the house that are all doing something now. So we think it'll never come back to us anymore. So thank you for this time, and thank you for this opportunity. Thanks, Alan.